Thank you so much, Mr. Ali Kusemererwa, for sparing time to talk to us. Dear viewers, today we are going to talk about the African Union Chairmanship. As we know very well that African Union, very soon they are going to elect the chairman. So there are names that have already surfaced, came out to show that they are interested in taking the chairmanship of the African Union. We have Laila Odinga from Kenya. We have Mohamed Yusuf from Djibouti. We have Amir Gayan from Mauritania. Then Richard Ndamarian Rato from Madagascar. So far we have just heard that there are 4 people who are interested in taking the seat of the African Union chairman. So Ali, before we go further, say hi to our viewers and then we start.
Yes, good afternoon viewers, and you're welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you so much. Mr. Ali, let's begin digging into this matter right here. Before we look at these candidates, what does African Union chairman do? What is his basic role? Yes.
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, the African Union is a body that brings together the African countries. Formerly it was called OAU.
Yes.
Organization of African Unity. The headquarters were at Addis Ababa, and when it transitioned into African Union, the headquarters remained in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. So African Union, as the word union suggests, it brings together African countries. And therefore, in their structure, they have a position of the chairman or chairperson, African Union.
Yes.
So one of his roles is to coordinate activities of the Union across the African continent, but also handle issues like interstate cooperation, conflict resolution, but also run day-to-day activities of the Union, heading the Secretariat in Addis Ababa. So now
how do we get to this person? How is he elected?
Yes, this person, originally, when it was still OAU,
yes,
we had the Secretary General.
Yes.
Remember Dr. Salim from Tanzania. But now the chairperson serves the role of the former
General Secretary.
Yeah, in OAU.
Okay.
Yeah, so the election is made that one, you serve a 2-year term.
Okay.
Of 5 years. Now, when this union was transformed from AU, now the first chairperson was called Jinping. Jinping was from Gabon.
Yes.
At some point he was the foreign minister of Gabon. So he was the first chairperson of the African Union. Now, so he's elected from the member states. Member states propose names of eminent persons from those countries. Then they compete. Now, I remember Xi Jinping from Gabon contested with Madame Dlamini Zuma. By then he was a foreign minister in South Africa during the times of Thabo Mbeki.
Yes.
And Xi Jinping had to pass through. Now the current now chairperson, whose term is expiring, is called Mohamed Faki. Is from Niger. That is somewhere in West Africa.
Yes.
So I remember he contested with our very own Dr. Wandera Kazibwe and some other eminent people in Africa. But I remember Dr. Wandera Kazibwe was there. Much as she received the support from the East African bloc, but she lost to Mohamed Faki. So Mohamed Faki's term is ending now. And as we've read there, already some eminent people from various African countries. We've talked of Mauritania, we talked of Kenya, Madagascar, and Djibouti.
Okay. So,
They have shown
should we say that these chairmen are voted by heads of states?
Right. Actually, every year, African Union, they have a summit of heads of state summit in Addis Ababa. So I think when somebody's term ends, now it is that summit of the heads of state that elects by voting who will be the next chairperson. And if you've seen, every candidate there, from Raila Odinga of Kenya to
Muhammad Yusuf
of Djibouti, to Guyana of Mauritania, and Richard of Madagascar, they are trying to court to get support from various presidents. Now, another thing you have to know is that in Africa, we have blocks.
Yes.
We have the Anglophone countries that speak English. That is the Commonwealth. We also have the Francophone countries that speak French.
Yes.
Majority in Central Africa, West Africa, and North Africa. But also we have Arabic-speaking countries. We also have countries that speak Portuguese. That is Angola, Cape Verde, Mozambique. So every bloc wants at least one of their own to be the chairperson. That's why if you looked at the previous chairperson and the current one, Jinping and Mohamed Faki, Ping from Gabon and Mohamed Faki from Niger. All these are French-speaking countries. Yes.
Now, let's zero around Laila Odinga. Laila Odinga, we know him very well. He has severally stood for presidency in Kenya, and he has failed. We even remember in 2007, to settle matters there, in Kenya they had to give him a position of a prime minister, which does not actually exist in their setup, in their constitution. Now, we are seeing his name surfacing. And last week, we even saw President Yoweri Museveni of Uganda. We saw Samia Suluhu of Tanzania. We saw Ruto himself being a host. We saw Salva Kiir of South Sudan. Was it a prime minister from Burundi,
Yes.
And the foreign affairs minister from Rwanda in State House, Kenya, endorsing Laila Odinga officially. Why actually would East African countries go behind Laila Odinga?
Yes, first of all, Raila Odinga is a veteran politician.
Yes.
Not only in Kenya, but also in East Africa. You can not talk about politics in East Africa and you don't talk about Raila Odinga. Then two, East Africa would be proud to also have one of their own heading the African Union. Remember, Jakaya Kikwete, the former Tanzanian president, had shown interest. But I think they sat him down and said, no, let us back Raila Odinga.
Yes.
So that we shouldn't divide the votes. But also you should remember that in Africa, much as I have told you, the continent is divided alongside languages, linguistic areas, but also we have regional blocks.
Should we also say that colonialism comes in also?
Yeah, at some point.
Colonial masters.
Yes,
they have influence in this.
But also, Africa is made up of regional blocks. Remember, East Africa, we have the East African community.
Yes.
So Raila Odinga is a candidate being fronted by the East African community. We are talking about 9 countries. But also, Madagascar, that candidate of Madagascar is from, we have SADC.
Yes.
South Africa Development Corporation. Those countries under the SADC bloc. They would also want to front somebody to head the African Union. The last time they tried, it was when Dlamini Zuma, a South African, tried it the other time, and she was beaten by Jinping, a West African. Yeah, but also, if you look at Djibouti, Mohamed Yusuf, Djibouti is a country in the Horn of Africa. It is strategic in the way that, one, it is at the border of Africa and the Arabian continent. It also hosts major military bases of international armies, such as France and the United States. Actually, the African Command the American Center for Military, which
in
is
Africa.
known as African Command AFRICOM, is based in Djibouti. So I think America, France, and other international powers would prefer to have a candidate from a country which has strategic importance militarily.
Okay.
But also there's an organization of countries that form the Horn of Africa: Somalia, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Djibouti. But also Muhammad Yusuf speaks Arabic, and Djibouti is part of the countries in the Arab League. So we may see Arab countries in Africa, the likes of Sudan, Egypt, Tunisia, Morocco, Algeria, giving him support.
It is also an Islamic country.
Oh yes. So we may see even some Muslim countries come up. But also, Djibouti, they speak some French. Now remember, there is a gentleman from Mauritania, Guyane.
Yes.
Mauritania is a French-speaking country, also an Arab country. So we may see a lot of dividing of those votes. But back to Raila, remember Raila...
Now, before we go to Raila, when you look at all these four individuals, when you look at their background, maybe the positions they have served in their countries, who is most likely to win? Yes,
most of them are foreign ministers of their countries. From Muhammad Yusuf in Djibouti, that guy in Madagascar, Richard, even this guy in Mauritania. But Raila Odinga, he's the only candidate who had an attempt on the presidential seat, actually 4 times. At some point, he caused a stalemate in Kenya, and
he became a president.
There had to be some negotiations, like Kofi Annan, you remember.
Yes.
And as plan B, and to create peace in Kenya, they had to create a post that was not there of Prime Minister, and the coalition government was formed. So it means, and recently Raila Odinga was in an election which was hotly contested in Kenya, that left the Kenyan as a country divided. So William Ruto, as a political strategist, he would be comfortable Odinga being removed away from the Kenyan politics. Now with Odinga in Addis Ababa, it means now he will have left the Kenyan politics, and it means Ruto, it will be easier for him because the next elections in Kenya is 2027. So with Odinga out of Kenya, it means Ruto is assured of another term.
Now you mean that's why even Uganda will support him to go the other side?
Yes,
because the instability in Kenya equally destabilizes us here in Uganda.
Yeah, that is one. One, Kenya is our biggest, we are the biggest, we export, is our biggest exporter in the region, the biggest trade partner. We export more than any other country in Kenya. But also we import almost 90% of our goods through Kenya, Port Mombasa, including fuel. But
so it is our route, export route, import route.
Yes, so President Museveni is trying to make sure as much as possible Kenya there is peace.
Yes.
But also President Museveni is more comfortable with Ruto becoming the president, remaining as the president of Kenya, than Raila Odinga.
Yes.
Raila Odinga, who is experienced, is senior, he would be more difficult to tame and handle than Ruto, who is a junior. I think all those ones are coming into calculations.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, as we wind up, briefly about Raila Odinga.
Yes.
Aren't we going, if we come to block voting, aren't we seeing him out of the race?
Now, for the first time, we may have the chairperson of the African Union from an Anglophone country. Now, if you looked at the other 3 candidates, from Madagascar is a French-speaking country, and so is Mauritania and Djibouti. So it means they are likely to divide. For example, Guyana of Mauritania and Yusuf of Djibouti, one, they are likely to divide the French votes, but also the Arab votes and the Islamic votes.
Okay.
Then, of course, Madagascar, being French, they will divide. So it means countries that speak English, the Commonwealth countries, they are likely to already is having a block vote from the East African community.
Okay.
Now there are some steps also to convince countries from the South African region that speak English, the likes of Malawi, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Namibia, to back Raila Odinga.
Some other countries, maybe from West Africa also, like
Yeah,
Nigeria.
even some countries, because the other day I saw some delegates from Nigeria. The likes of the former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo was there during the launch of Odinga's bid. But countries like Ghana, French, English speaking,
Yes.
Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Gambia. Yes, so we may see Odinga this time has higher chances.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ali and the viewers. That's it we have for you about this topic, Laila's bid for African Union Chairmanship. We shall be giving you more details and more information as it unveils. Thank you so much for being there, as we are committed to always bring you information that matters. So always support us, like, share and subscribe to this channel to get more information.